Following the capture of ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, President Trump is hoping that American companies can revive Venezuela's languishing oil industry. After all, Venezuela is said to have over 300 billion barrels of oil reserves, the largest for any country in the world, if that figure can really be believed. And even if so, would U.S. oil companies be interested in ramping up production? Our next guest has written about this, and joining us now to discuss is Peter Boockvar, the Chief Investment Officer at OnePoint BFG Wealth and a CNBC contributor. Welcome to you.
Thanks.
So we were just speaking about this with Michelle last hour, Crusoe Cabrera, who says the president seems interested in trying to get U.S. oil companies to be a partner there in extracting. She said, look, this could be $12 to $14 is their cost of extraction down there. In other words, really cheap. So there could be a lot of money to be made, but the stuff is in really bad shape. So how do you expect this to play out?
Well, that $15 is after all the money that needs to be invested.
True.
So it's really sort of the back end that they would benefit from that. But it's not only U.S. oil companies. BP and Shell have had their sort of stake in the ground there, or wanting to. ENI, as Michelle mentioned, Repsol, the Chinese, Rosneft in Russia, PDVSA. What do they want? How this is going to get divvied up is actually going to be pretty interesting. At some point, yeah, there's riches of oil there to be had, but it'll take time, and who knows if they even have 300 billion barrels of reserves there.
I mean, overall, if they do, let's just hypothetically say that they do have this oil. The amount of investment it will take is already being estimated, and it's substantial. The return size and the return time frame is also being debated right now. What exactly does it look like, blueprint or game plan-wise, if you were to have, hypothetically, the oil majors in the U.S., like in Exxon? We know Chevron's already got some operations there. You get maybe a Conoco, you get other maybe smaller exploration and production companies that are not the massive integrated oil giants like Exxon and Chevron are. What exactly, how long does that actually take? And how much do we see, or how long does it take for the economic impact to show itself in prices throughout the globe?
Well, looking at a variety of estimates that were all being shown over the last couple of days, I've heard $10 billion a year of investment. So call it maybe 50 to 100 billion that needs to be put in over the next 5 to 10 years just to get back to 3 million barrels a day. So oil demand is growing 1 to 1.5 million barrels a day, depending on people's estimates, per year now. So all it would be is getting them back to where they were, meeting just future oil demand that's going to be needed. And in the context of today, 105 million barrels a day that's being produced, it's actually going to be sort of a tiny little impact.
So now there's questions about, apparently the $300 billion reserve figure is self-reported by the Chavez administration. But I guess to everybody's point, we're just trying to get to a few million barrels a day of production, which we know is doable regardless of what the true reserves number ends up being.
Right, because even if they just have 75 billion barrels, which is where it was when Chavez took over, there's still plenty of oil there. I am amazed at the level of bearishness that's in the market right now. I understand because people see the supply, but this supply is not coming for a while. I mean, oil today, it's called $60 a barrel. Obviously, we're a little below that. 20 years ago, we were at $60 a barrel in nominal terms. The cost of getting the stuff out of the ground is much higher today than it was then. You inflation adjust $60 20 years ago, it's $100 today. But
I keep hearing that we're in a kind of supply glut year from all the oil analysts. That's what they say, is that...
So glut is the word.
Yeah.
I do think there's maybe a glut of oil on the water, but if you look at the Cushing inventory numbers, you're near the lowest level since 2014. You look at positioning, the net speculative long position in crude oil is at the lowest level in 15 years. And I think that NI has been taken off the ball here of U.S. shale. Over the last 15 years, when U.S. production went from 5 million barrels to almost 14, U.S. shale was this technological wonder. Well, all of a sudden, U.S. shale production is really flattening out and maturing. So you're losing a major area of the world's oil production in terms of growth. Yes, we have Brazil, Guyana. So there are major offsets here. So I'm actually very bullish on oil, and we're long oil stocks here.